Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can you put on your earphones, please? Welcome, bienvenue to the last pitch session of the day. It's 5:15 p.m. How are you doing? How's the energy? Earphones on. Can we get a whoop from the back? Okay, so this session is all around accelerating the ecosystem. And for deeply rooted, interconnected, complex social environmental problems, the only way to solve them is through ecosystemic solutions. So in this round, we're going to have 5 solutions who are working at an ecosystemic level. Each of them is going to have 3 minutes, 180 seconds to pitch their solution. After that, you will hear a gong, and I will come on and invite politely them off and the next one on. Not so politely sometimes. To help us with this, we have a jury at the front who will choose a coup de cœur from the solutions at the end, and then we will invite everyone to network and connect afterwards. My name's Nick. I'm going to be your maître d'ambiance for today, and I'm also the co-founder of Changemaker Exchange, which is all about finding the next generation of young social entrepreneurs, and I can see some of them potentially in the list of pitches today. Okay, so if we're ready, we will start by getting super quick intros from the jury, and I'd love you to share just in one sentence, if possible, who you are, and then pass the microphone along the line, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hervé Lesqueur. I'm in charge of financing corporates at the European Investment Bank.
Cool, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucille Brachet, Director of 50 Partners Impact. We are an accelerator and an impact fund co-funded by 50 French impact entrepreneurs.
Hello, I'm Ernst Hoestra. I'm the CEO of Erasmus Enterprise, the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center for Erasmus University, and I'm also a board member at several other companies. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Jules Ferrer. I'm venture capital analyst in the corporate fund of Bouygues Construction.
Nice, thank you so much. Okay, so are we ready to meet the first solution? This is an employee climate engagement SaaS solution. Let's give a big warm welcome now then, everybody. Round of applause for eevie. Well done.
Hello, my name is Tono and I'm here today to talk about work cultures. Today we have more than 10,000 companies that have already formally committed to reducing their carbon emissions. This is fantastic news which we should celebrate, and I hope that many of you here today are part of these companies, it's very important. But one of the first challenges that these companies face, wait, I'm supposed to stand here, is to actively involve their employees into helping them reach these ESG strategies. Peter Drucker famously said that culture eats strategy for breakfast, and it could not be more true than in the case of ESG strategy. Because with an old mindset, we're going to have a very hard time to decarbonize our companies efficiently. So we are looking at today 100 million employees that could potentially help their companies reduce their carbon emissions very quickly if engaged properly. We therefore have created a SaaS enterprise solution to help companies engage and reward their employees into very specific climate action that helps them reduce their carbon emissions, that helps them make better decisions on a daily basis in order to fulfill their ESG strategy. So with our solution, they can plan campaigns in order to drive awareness, in order to and drive action, and then get measurable results of the emission reductions that have been generated through these campaigns. So what does that look like? Teams are essentially challenged to collaborate and to identify how can they reduce the emissions together. So essentially this can be anything from very specific scope 3 initiatives like improving the way that we commute to work, or it could be very much more specifically, which we are very much focused on enabling in terms of configurability, addressing very specific needs of our enterprise clients, because at the end of the day, employee behavior is resulting with a lot of impact on carbon emissions of the company. So in order to engage them and reward them into changing their behavior in order to make better decisions is a very important thing so that companies can actually achieve their ambitious decarbonization goals. The most amazing thing is that this has a tremendous impact potential. Alone today, we have the potential to reduce 150 megatons only through climate engagement of employees. And this does not even account for all of the ripple effects that this will have for large companies and small in their future development and their improved decision making of becoming a truly sustainable company. We still have time, not very much, in fact 7 years until we reach 1.5 degrees. So I'm here to invite all of you to join us to start working on your company culture and to collaborate with your colleagues to achieve the impact goals we have to in order to have a very pleasant world for us in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so next solution, which is blockchain-powered crowdfunding. It's Gaia Gives. Welcome to the stage. Welcome.
Who here has donated to a charity and wondered where your donation ended up? Well, you're not the only one. In fact, 65% of all donors would donate more if they knew the exact impact of their donation. My name is Lila. I'm an entrepreneur from Costa Rica and Germany, and I'm passionate about building a new era, a new pathway for transparent philanthropy. Gaia Gives is a blockchain-powered crowdfunding platform that enables the change makers of today to view a transparent way. So, as a global ambassador for impact projects, I've experienced firsthand how challenging it can be to raise funds. In fact, as a donor, you lack the trust. As a project, you lack the tools to measure the impact that you're having in real time. So with Gaia Gives, we're offering you 3 different opportunities and even more to increase this impact. As a donor, you will choose from a vetted database of highly coached projects that you can trust. Then we will offer you, instead of donating to a large organization, the opportunity to donate to a specific milestone within a project, a specific phase of a project. From there, you will be able to follow this project and verify it 100% visibility, because the project will need to upload important data and verification before unlocking the next round of funding. But we are way more than just a super transparent and engaging crowdfunding platform. We are a global giving economy of givers on the Web3 space. So with our future Gaia Gives token, you, the donors, will have the opportunity to get incentives by donating to good causes, sharing it with your friends and families, and giving back peer-to-peer reviews. We're giving back the power to the people and the projects. As you can see, compared to outdated crowdfunding platforms, we have features like Web3 technology for increased transparency. We use on-the-ground storytelling, and we use the last version for hyper-modern marketing affiliation. We're also honored to work with some of the most innovative projects and feel honored to have them onboarded already. As you all know, we're reaching the Sustainable Development Goals, and this is a huge market with 2.3 trillion global giving. So now imagine a platform where we can actually channel those funds in a very impactful and transparent way. Our team is a dedicated group of international people from all around the world. We are 5 founders, 3 of us are over here, and strategic partners from everywhere. We're looking for a 2 million seed investment to finish our product and to run our operations. And now let's get back to work and really make the transparency for projects and donors for the changes and projects that we need. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lila, and great energy. Thank you. Okay, so next up, helping people and companies be aware of and reduce their carbon footprint, it's Carbo. Welcome to the stage. Welcome, Carbo.
Thank you. Mm. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi for the people I know already. I'm Simon. Perhaps one thing to know about me before beginning. I did my kind of coming out ecologic like 5 years ago. I don't know when you did that, guys, but it's kind of a coming out. So meaning that I don't take planes for like 4 years and a half. I don't eat meat, like all the basic changing of behavior. So I'm Simon. I'm one of the 3 co-founder of Carbo. And at Carbo, we are on a mission. Our mission is really how we accelerate ecological awareness to reduce right now our carbon footprint. And we have first a strongly belief that first technology and data is going to be able, we're going to find carbon footprint everywhere in our daily life. I don't know, when you go to a restaurant, for example, you see the prices, but in the future, you're going to see, in the US, you see the calories, but in the future, you're going to see CO2 equivalent. So get ready for that. CO2 equivalent is going to be everywhere in your daily life as a consumer, as an enterprise and stuff. And that's how we think we can reach the first part of our mission. And secondly, to reduce our carbon footprint, the way we do that at Carbo is thanks to pedagogy. I'm 100% convinced that pedagogy and education is the way to change behavior. On a pack of cigarettes, smoking kills, doesn't change behavior. So if we want to change behavior, we have to do like pedagogic and education to change the behavior. So that's our mission at Carbo. It's what we do. And basically, we have 2 main solutions. We have a free solution for citizens that is used already for 30,000 users. We have 2 main partnerships with banks, and it's going to be used by 20 million users in the future. It's like a data point collection that you can have all the CO2 equivalent of your expenses about your bank. So that's our citizen solution. And the engine at Carbo is a SaaS B2B solution for companies, for SMBs companies. That's basically the 3 main stuff. It's like a product-centric solution. It's collaborative and what can I say? And it's pedagogic, as you say. It's really action-oriented. The thing it's to retain is, it's the next slide, I reckon. We have like more than 250 companies. We've just reached like $500 million of ARR, and we are used, and that's important to say, that more than 1,000 people per month. So it's really mean this solution is used, and we have like cool clients. It's our impact. Our impact is in 3 data: the people we sensitize, the people we engage with CO2, and last, the people, how we try to how we reduce emission. And I've got 10 more seconds, and it's important because I think it's more important. I think we live in a world, in a capitalism world, that the units, the main unit, it's monetary and currency unit. I believe strongly, and it's my utopia, that in the world, in the future world, the next unit is going to be like CO2 emission with different currency and stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. Thanks. Well done for using every second. Okay, we have 2 more solutions. Next one, empowering business to execute world-class sustainability programs. This is Climastry. Welcome.
Climastry, climate and chemistry, founded on the vision of, is this on? Hello? Okay. Founded on the vision of changing the composition of the atmosphere. And we're starting that journey by addressing the integrity of recent carbon commitments, since only a quarter of these emissions fall within the purview of the corporates responsible for executing on these commitments. And at the end of the day, they can only influence their suppliers. They can't control them. Speaking from my own experience working with and within manufacturers, I can tell you that launching a decarbonization program is a confusing and a daunting task, and one with no clear starting point, but a clear ending point. We've also found that there are some players who have launched these programs only to find that they lack a tool to scale these decarbonization strategies. That's why we at Climastry are here to show manufacturers that they can eliminate 50% of their emissions at net zero cost. And we're doing that by resourcing their projects with green actions and materials. And telling their story along the way, together as a team. Our user research shows that there's a strong demand for this solution, both from the corporates struggling to decarbonize their Scope 3 supply chain, and the manufacturers themselves struggling to both share their ESG data with their clients and authentically change their behaviors. We have a diverse revenue model that includes subscription, a marketplace, and disclosure levers. And while our peers are fighting for the same pool of enterprise clients, we're focused on addressing the problems of the real economy. And within that niche, going beyond the explicit implementation of carbon accounting methodologies with project-based transition plans that drive material, real decarbonization. We have a rockstar team that just doubled coming out of the Carbon 13 Accelerator, and we're seeking partners to co-develop our next iteration of our product and investors to help us along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Awesome. Okay. Thanks. So the final venture that we have today, all-in-one climate platform for companies and teams. Sami, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here and listening to me. I'm Tanguy, co-founder of Sami, the climate platform for every business. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, another climate platform. And let me tell you something. Yes, and we need more, because we need a lot of companies reducing their emissions to reach and accelerate the pace of decarbonization that we have to do to reach global net zero. So, in order to tell you what's a bit special about Sami, if this can work, I'm not going to follow the slides, and I'm going to tell you a bit about my personal life, and with two stories. The first one is about, and to show you that decarbonization is a hard thing to do, and you need platforms like Sami. The first story is that I had kids recently, 2 kids, and as a climate-conscious person, when you have kids, you ask yourself tons of questions as to what's the best, lowest emission solution. And then, so you have like diapers. Okay. Do you have to use reusable diapers, but then you have to wash them in the washing machine, it's plenty of energy, or should you just buy the single-use ones? And that information is just really hard to find. You don't know what's best, and it took me months to find the answer to this question. Another example is electric cars. There's a lot of misinformation about this, and it's really hard to also find the answer when you kind of start looking into it as to what's the best solution. And so you do the research, and then you finally end up finding the answer. And for your information, reusable diapers, 5 to 7 times less emissions on the life cycle analysis than single-use ones. And electric cars, there's now mountains of studies, 5 to 6 times less emissions on a whole life cycle analysis. And so these 2 examples are just to show you that decarbonizing is hard, and you need to find the solutions. And for this, you need data. You need a lot of data, and that's where we come in at Sami, because basically, the slides have nothing to do, because basically, you need to measure, of course, that's the first step. You need to measure emissions, and you need to do it the best you can. But then, if you just measure, you don't do anything. You need to reduce impact. And for this, you need to find the solutions that really lower emissions and basically link this to the measurements you're doing, so that we can all together, with the millions of companies that exist in the world, lower emissions as much as we can. And for this, we need to find the answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanguy and Sami. You can stay where you are, and I'll invite the other solutions back to the stage. And so if we can have one super short, sharp question for each initiative, then we wrap up for the evening, okay? And if the jury members, if we can have one microphone also. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I have a question for you, for Gaia. You're talking about the platform, and you're mentioning you want to raise 2 million, which is a sizable sum of money. That also understanding that you're already in the business, right? So, is there a specific risk in the platform currently that you really need to mitigate? Because people donating money, so isn't that a bit scary? So can you elaborate what you're going to do with the money and how big is the risk currently?
Of course. So, first of all, our platform is not developed yet. It's 75% developed with a German team of programmers. And right now we're looking for the right partners and investors to finish the last piece of development of our platform. In terms of risk, I mean, we're raising donations for impact projects in a very transparent way where we actually decrease the risk of donating to something that might be a fraud, right? So actually we're taking the risk away because you can clearly see where the funds are allocated through the blockchain, through the public ledger. So in terms of risk, there are not really the risks, we're actually taking the risk away. Thank you.
I have a question for Sami. So as you said, there's a more and more platform of impact measurement. It's getting a real red ocean. So what's your secret sauce at Sami? I mean, what's your differentiation among your competitors?
Right, yeah, listen closely. No, basically first you have to measure emissions right, and this is very important. In order to have an action plan that's actually actionable, you need to have a certain level of precision that allows you to define what's best, as I was saying. And so for this you need good data, whether it's from the company or from emission factors, which kind of helps to make all these CO2 calculations. And then you need also a good action plan, right? And for this, one of the things we really focus on at Sami is to have a great databases of solutions, of actions that help to reduce emissions. And so basically our tech is all the database we have, every action is scored, whether it's tons of CO2 reduced and linked to the measurement. You have to link both, otherwise you're not gonna really know the impact of the actions you're putting in place.
Okay, can I just quickly wrap you up there, sorry, and move to the next one because we have really short of time, and I think you answered it pretty clearly. Okay, cool. Next one.
Hey, my question is for eevie. How do you check the level of engagement of the employees once you've done your job? How you check that people have actually played their role?
So the great thing is that we use an app for every employee to engage them. So they join their teams on the app, they communicate with each other on the app, they measure their impact on the app. All of that is then aggregated back to the company, so we have actually impact generation. And so we can measure the daily engagement, weekly engagement, monthly engagement, of the actions that's been taken. So that's all then very easy to measure. And obviously the question is long-term engagement, and the good thing about empowering individuals to change their behaviors and doing that on a regular basis in teams for different campaigns is inherently engaging. So maybe that answers your question. And I just want to quickly say I completely agree, there has to be much more of us because we don't have time. So.
Thank you all. I have a question for Tanguy from Sami too. You said...
could we have one for one of the two that didn't get a question to make sure we can affect?
For Simon from Carbo. So, my question is about the booming of platforms, about the CO2 footprints. What do you think about more focus, sectorial focus platforms, and how these platforms could be linked to more generalist platforms like you?
Yes, it depends on, I reckon, on like the if you speak about SMBs or big companies, I think for big companies it's going to be like specific software for, I don't know, logistic, for example. But for small companies, they won't use different platforms, so it's going to be the one platform for everybody. And I think I reckon Sami does the same, but at Carbo we connect all the platform we can find on specific topics. For example, if you did an ACV on a product, we can connect the data and have the data in our database to improve the carbon footprint of your company.
Thank you. And then last question, which would be for Climastry.
So one question for you. You talked about decarbonization and bringing those projects to life, etc. What is your business model out of that, right? Sort of for Climastry, why would I be, for instance, as an investor, why would I become excited about Climastry?
Yeah, I think we're really addressing the root of a huge problem, which is currently the way that enterprise ESG systems are run. It encourages disinvestment from suppliers and material providers that don't align with their metrics. Whereas we're trying to become a software tool that's deployed to those, I guess, suppliers that are having a harder time transitioning, to bring them along. Because if you disinvest from them, if you don't use them anymore, they'll just sell to somebody else, and those emissions won't change. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is address the total emissions, our NDC's level emissions. And we're not going to do that if we just continue to pick up, suppliers and shift our money elsewhere. So that's kind of where the value for us. It's more altruistic, but and again, focus more on the tier 2 plus supplier that's struggling with transitions.
Okay, awesome. That brings us to a close. Thank you so much to the solutions and to the jury. I'd like to invite and remind you all of two very cool premieres that are happening, screenings on the Sunrise stage, including interviews with the directors of 2 social environmental change films, and invite you all to a great Friday night in Paris. Thank you, everyone. That draws us to a close. Thank you. Bye-bye.